Alright everyone, I just want to let you know real quick that this video is mostly, of course it's me asking you questions with some few slight writing sounds like that, but mostly it's just me rambling on during this video. So if you enjoy that stuff, leave a like of course, hit the subscribe button if you're new, but yeah, it's just a lot of me talking about randomness. But hopefully it's still relaxing, hopefully y'all still enjoy, and love y'all. See you later. Enjoy it. Hello there. So, my first question for you is, are you ready to spend some bonding time with me? That's the first question, yes or no? Alright, very good. So, what we're going to be doing here today is I am going to ask you some questions, friend to friend, of course, or if you want to say, YouTuber to viewer, that works as well, but I figure most of y'all watching, we've probably spent a bit of time together already, and maybe to the point where you'd consider friends, maybe not. But that's why we're going to be asking some questions today, or I'm going to be asking, and you'll answer, and then maybe I'll answer a few as well, or give my little 2 cents per se. And we'll just take the time to get to know each other a little bit better. Okay? Good, good. And so of course also I'm just going to be writing down some little notes of whatever we talk about with some of the questions that I asked today, alright? Is that fine? Okay, good. Well, let's flip to a nice, relatively empty page here. Okay. And I've got my pen here as well. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first question, we'll start out with something a little more fun. What was the best vacation you ever took, and why? Why was it the best vacation you ever took? Let me know. It can be for any reason, of course, whatever you, or whatever made it the best for you specifically. Okay. Alright. And what was the reason for that? Okay. So that's what made it fun for you? Alright, good. Yeah, that makes complete and total sense. You see, me personally, I've been to a couple different resorts or different beaches and everything. But for one, I can't swim, nor am I much of an ocean person, per se. And weirdly enough, I'd say one of the vacations where I had the most fun was when I went up into the mountains for I think it was 2 weeks, I think. And of course we had a house up there to go to that was safe, but it was a very relaxing for the most parts, with its little hints of like danger, like driving up the side of the mountain. It was quite dangerous and led to some interesting moments. But it was fun getting to go up so high, see everything from so far away, and then to be out in nature and get to experience so many different things out there, especially in a world that's so technology dominated. It was pretty nice to go up there. So I'd say for me personally, never surprisingly, probably one of the more fun and nice experiences I had, vacation-wise, of course. It was very fun. Okay. Second question. What is your favorite way to spend a day off? Whether that be, of course, from work, or maybe if you're in school right now, what's your favorite thing to do when you don't have school? And you don't have to worry about all that. Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah, that doesn't sound too bad. And honestly, whatever time you choose, whatever things you choose to do with your time on your days off, that's all up to you. I'd say just make sure you spend your time effectively doing whatever you like, even if that's just, say, for instance, sitting at home, sleeping, catching up on some much needed rest, maybe catching up on some of your favorite shows, or, going out doing crazy stuff, partying, whatever it may be. Personally, in my time off, I like to, weirdly, maybe not so weird, I do like to go on long walks and runs for a couple hours at a time, listen to music, vibe out. Sometimes maybe go with like a friend, like at max one, but usually I like to spend that time to kind of get out all my thoughts and, exercise of course as well. But really take that time to get all my thoughts out, not really focus on anything, just vibe out with some music. And if there is anything that is, bothering me per se, usually that'll help to ease and relax, even though I'm kind of getting the exercise in. That's kind of best time to do that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So, next question. This one's, what was your favorite age growing up? Okay. And you just leave it at that? Wanna elaborate on why? Okay. Cool. And you felt like, all right. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yeah, that's good. Me personally, I'm only 21 now, so I haven't necessarily lived through that much life, for instance. But I'd say maybe around the age of like 15, 16 is when I did a lot of stuff with a lot of buddies before some, I don't want to get too personal, but before some weird things in my life happened that altered a lot. But those were some of the last days I spent really hanging around a lot with some of my old friends. Used to go out and do all kinds of crazy stuff. Those were some fun times, and then, growing up a bit more per se, and doing some different stuff was definitely fun for me. So I'd say around then, because that's also right before some big life changes that affected some other stuff. That was definitely some of the more fun times for me. Okay, next question. What is your favorite ice cream topping? Your favorite ice cream topping? Ice cream topping. Okay. Feel free to elaborate a little bit more. Alright. Alright, yeah. It's cool. You see, me personally, I'm not the craziest of a sweets person, and specifically when I get desserts like ice cream or, say, cheesecake, for instance, I'm not really much into the toppings kind of stuff, weirdly. Yeah, people usually are surprised to hear that, but I'm more of a plain guy, or whatever flavor of ice cream I do get, I usually like to let that shine a little more for what it is. Like cookies and cream ice cream from Baskin Robbins. That kind of ice cream is delicious from there. Or like recently, a frozen yogurt shop opened up near where I am, and you can put all kinds of crazy toppings on your frozen yogurt there. And anytime I go with friends or family, they put like half of what they got at least on top of their little frozen yogurt bowls. But me, personally, that's a little bit too much. Putting Honey Nut Cheerios or Oreos or gummy worms in every type of candy they got, chocolate chips, little crackers, little cheesecake bits, all that different candy and toppings, a little too much. You know, if I get some great frozen yogurt, I'd rather just taste the frozen yogurt by itself. Or if I get some Oreo cookies and cream frozen yogurt, maybe a little bit some more of the Oreos on top, but nothing more than that. Because you can definitely do too much, and I don't have a crazy sweet tooth like that. Which, yeah, that does affect stuff too. I'm not too crazy for sweets usually. Of course, I do have my moments every now and then. Okay, would you say that you are more of an extrovert or an introvert? Are you generally outgoing and are perfectly fine just being in big groups of people, talking to people about yourself, whatever, just being out like that? Or do you prefer to kind of stay a little more secluded to yourself if you don't have to go talk whatever to somebody, you'd rather not? Yeah, just basically introvert or extrovert, which you more like. Okay. Yep, feel free to elaborate anytime. Okay, yeah. You know, I feel like a lot of people say that they're more introverted, but I also think most people, it just depends on the situation. Like, with myself, usually I'm more introverted, but if I'm with some of my, like, good buddies that I know, and we're out hanging out, you know, I can start to get more extroverted, or if need be, you know, of course, you can definitely be extroverted. So I'd say more towards introverted side, of course, but anybody can switch up if they're in the right mood or feeling it, you know. Okay. Now, what was the last TV show that you binge watched? Alright. Was it good? obviously, right? If you binge watched it. Although weirdly enough, sometimes shows can force you to watch them by being inherently kind of bad per se, or have like not the greatest of writing in every scenario, and that kind of leads you to want to watch it more and figure out like, is this gonna change or is it gonna get better? Yeah, it's weird. Personally, last show that I binge watch, I don't usually binge watch stuff, but I have been watching The Chai recently, which is basically a show about Chicago, or Chicago, Chicago, if you're from there. I believe people say it more like that. But basically just about what goes on in the city and following the life of a couple different characters as they go through and deal with, like, crazy politicians, which is why they call it the Windy City, because the politicians are full of wind, not because it's actually windy, although it is sometimes. But, following the different crazy politicians, the, potential gangs, the different violence that goes on there, gun violence, stuff like that, or then also just, what it's like living there from the normal citizen standpoint, what goes on with the police, or how you see all the different stuff. It's pretty interesting, I'd say, if you want to watch. But definitely at the end of season 2 and the start of season 3, it gets a little bit iffy because they make a major change with one of the cast members having to go away. I won't try and spoil anything, but it influences the direction of the show greatly. Especially because they're one of the main characters whose their character intertwined with like everybody's different storylines, so it definitely affects stuff, but I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, it's a great show to watch, and up to that point, it's really good. But then just keep in mind it takes a different turn afterwards. But like that, I'll let you find that out for yourself, alright? Okay, let's see. Oh. Do you have a favorite holiday? A favorite holiday? Okay. And then, why? Okay. You think it's fun like that? Yeah, it is. And you get to spend some time. Yep, that's where the real fun lies. I completely agree with that. Personally, I do love Christmas, of course, but not for the whole idea of getting and gifting presents. Although there is some fun stuff you can do with that, like White Elephant. If you've never heard of it, basically, where you just can do it in a variety of ways. You can make it like a competition, or like a lottery almost, where you take turns opening gifts, but at the end you can like steal gifts from people. It can get fun. But really why I love Christmas is because usually it's when the whole family, or at least my whole family, usually tends to get together. Everybody from all over different states, parts of the world, and we usually all meet up and all just get to spend time together and have fun for a good week or two. But it hasn't been happening as much recently with COVID and everything else in the world. Everybody's getting busy on their own times. But that's definitely one of the favorite things for me about Christmas growing up, was spending time with all the family, and then also friends when it would rarely snow where I live during Christmas. Those were some fun times. I used to live next to a golf course that was kind of on a little hill slope, and anytime it would snow over, me and some of my buddies, we'd go out sledding over there, and then all the neighborhoods would all gather around there and be super fun. Then there was a little stream in the middle of the golf course that ran through it, and sometimes we'd have giant snowball fights across the two sides of the stream. So that would all be really fun as well, if it rarely snowed, which it rarely ever does. Like maybe once every like 5 to 6 years, it might a bit, but it's definitely very fun. And definitely one of my favorite holidays. And everybody's usually off too, and just in a more joyous mood. Yeah, very fun. So next question. If you could only eat one singular food for the rest of your life, what would that food be? Okay. And why would you choose that? It's a pretty interesting answer. I feel like you really got to think it through. Okay. All right. Yeah. I've recently thought about this, and I'm thinking more along the lines of what provides the most diversity. Because of course, some of my favorite foods, I love me some Asian foods, but Asian foods do tend to include a lot of rice, for instance, or things that aren't super good for digestion. And also there's a lack of cheese throughout a lot of Asian dishes as well, and I love me some cheese. So I did originally think more along the lines of maybe a burger, right? Because you could have a regular beef burger, you could have a chicken burger, you could have like a turkey burger. Technically a fish sandwich might be a burger per se, maybe. But then I thought about it and I was like, ooh, also a burger, you could have like a lettuce wrap and have it be a little more healthy in that way and not have to get bread all the time. But now I'm thinking, why not just get like a regular wrap? So you could get like, chicken Caesar wraps. You could get like a fish wrap. You could get a wrap with turkey, different cheeses, sauces. You can get them warm, you can get them cold. So I figure now, I think a wrap would be more ideal. And you could get, you could get a wheat wrap to cover it. You could get, like a flour tortilla to make a wrap. You could make a lettuce wrap. You could do so much stuff with it variety-wise. And customize it however you want with different cheeses, vegetables, sauces. So I think I'd go with that simply for the diversity. Yeah, I thought that through. Okay. Next, do you like going to the movies or do you prefer watching at home? Right. Do you prefer watching at the actual theater or would you rather just wait and watch at home? Alright, and why? Okay, you put up some very valid points. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. Yeah, personally, I do like going to the movies, and of course, watching stuff at home has its merits, like, being comfortable. You can eat whatever food you want at home. You can drink whatever you want, have whatever kinds of desserts, rather than just being limited to like popcorn and slushies. You could have, a giant steak dinner and then get some cheesecake afterwards. So that's cool, but also not everything is available at home, and sometimes you have to pay a bit more than maybe what you'd have to pay at the actual movies. But then also, nothing can beat the experience of going to see like a really big movie and there's people in the audience and having big crazy moments happening and feeling the energy and having everybody, scream or start crying or just going crazy, and having so many people around you that you don't know, but y'all are all feeling like the same feelings and emotions and thinking similar things and being surrounded by people who are kind of like you. You just get to have fun being one of those people in the crowd. So I think that's why I'd say prefer to go to the movies. Although both are good in their own ways, but realistically a nice mixture of the two would be great. But then also the movies, I will say, you do have the chance for annoying people to be in there. Anytime you're with people you don't know, you never know what could go on. Like I remember one of the last movies I went to, there was a theater hopper going through who hopped in. There were like 4 or 5 empty seats next to me on the top row, and she came in and she had her phone full brightness, came in, was on her phone the entire time, and she came in the middle of the movie, thank goodness, so she wasn't there the entire time. But that's why she was most likely a theater hopper. And yeah, I don't even think she watched most of the movie. She was just sitting there on her phone, full brightness. It was super annoying. And then she got like 2 or 3 calls during the movie, and it was just like, but whatever. People need to be a little more secure. And also, yeah, movie theaters, or at least the one around us recently, has not been the safest per se. But they're working on it, and there are some great experiences that you just can't beat anywhere else. Okay. Probably be the last question here. Of course, we can do some more later if you like, but we're just gonna leave it at this for now. What is your favorite sleeping position? Your favorite sleeping position. What is your favorite? Okay. Yep, same here. Sometimes it can take absolutely forever to find the favorite. And I feel like for everybody, they've got that one that works for them the most often. But I feel there's nobody who can sleep the same way every single night. You can't be human if you do. Because I'll find some nights I'll be perfectly fine just laying on my side and passing out that way. But then a lot of nights, if I've been working and I'm tired, sometimes I'll lay down on my bed and I'll be like, okay, let me just watch one video, watch one episode of a show I like, watch one of my favorite streamers that stream in. I'll just watch them for like 20-30 minutes and put down the phone and go to sleep. And I'll find that I can't even keep my eyes open and pass out just laying flat on my back. And then some nights, I will toss and turn for hours, going from left to right to back. I'll try and lay on my front and turn my head to both sides, and that's not working. And then the bed and the pillow start to get warm, so then I have to stay on one side being warm for a good 10-15 minutes and let one side cool down. And I'm hoping that the cool side will feel better, and that'll help me get to sleep. And then nothing ends up working, and eventually I just pass out. But I'd say in terms of a position I like the most, you know what? I think just sleeping straight on my back, just neck straight back on the pillow, and just laying flat might be my favorite, quote unquote. Because I have had people tell me that I sleep kind of like a vampire. Because I can't lie, sometimes I do. I will lay straight back, sometimes with my hands on my chest, and just pleasantly pass out that way. And yeah, I've been compared to Dracula before by some of my buddies. But that's just a me thing. Not everybody's like that. But I definitely do have some difficult times getting to sleep. So that was it for this. Just a quick little 10 questions. Quick, I say. But there's literal hundreds more I could go through. So if you want to meet up another time and we can do something like this again, just let me know. I'd definitely be absolutely down. Otherwise, make sure to leave a like on the video, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed, and want to join the channel. And yeah, that was fun. Otherwise, I think I'll see y'all later. I'm going to be hopping off. Go ahead and try and get to sleep and go maneuver through my 30 different positions again. And hopefully I'll get there eventually, but hopefully for you, I've been able to relax you so far. And I'll see you later.